everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. Today, we are going to be carrying on in the MV Age with a couple more quests. The biggest one that I want to get done today is I want to try and get some stainless steel. So, we're going to need to make ourselves some stainless steel dust. And stainless steel dust is going to be made inside of a mixer. We're going to need 6 iron dust, 1 nickel dust, 1 manganese dust, and 1 chrome dust to get 9 stainless steel dust. You can also use another recipe which uses the invar dust instead. It's basically the same thing because iron and nickel, of course, will give you invar anyways, so I'm pretty sure it's the same sort of thing. But we're going to use the one with the base resources, just a little bit more convenient, I'd say. And yeah, we're going to try and get some stainless steel today. Now, the way we make stainless steel after we get the dust is we're going to need to put it inside of the EBF, and that is going to need HV power, which we now have. Interestingly, it only actually needs the copper nickel coils to make the stainless steel ingots. So that's quite good, and if we give it oxygen, it's only 60 seconds compared to 85 seconds without the oxygen, and of course we have plenty of oxygen. So it shouldn't be too bad. So we're going to try and get that done, and we're also going to try and get some other quests knocked out today as well along the way. We'll see how that goes. So let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to prepare some stainless steel dust. So we do need to head down to the dust area, and in fact, I'm actually going to need to grab some iron as well. So I think what we're going to do, if we look at this recipe again, I already had a little bit of a look at some of these things. Iron dust, we have, well, we're actually not doing terribly well on it. I do need to go mining for iron still quite badly, but we should have enough to get some of this stuff made up. Nickel dust, we should have plenty of it. Chrome dust, we have sorted that out a couple episodes ago, so we're doing quite well on that. Manganese dust, though, is something we'll also have to take a little bit of a look at. That'll be a little bit trickier, but we do have some, I believe. So I'm going to grab a couple of stacks of iron here, because I'm going to need to turn that into iron dust, because I don't think I have too much actual iron dust down here. So I'll just put you through the macerator here. Doesn't take too long. And, yep, there's the iron dust. Only have 57 down here. But chrome dust, we're doing quite well on. We have 578. How are we doing on nickel? I do need to grab some nickel. Nickel, okay, 344. That's not bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab half a stack of you. I think what we'll do is we'll go for... Normally, I would try and make, like, 9 stacks something. I'd go for a full batch of all of this. But I think for now, I'll just do half of that. So we'll do 3 stacks of iron. 1 stack of nickel, not 1 stack, half a stack of nickel, half a stack of manganese, half a stack of chrome. So let's grab some chrome as well. And then manganese is over here. We only have 57 of them, so that's half a stack of that, and then we should also have some of the iron dust just about to come in. So the way we get manganese, since this one's a little bit different, I believe that one comes from, well, it comes from manganese ore. But manganese ore is not actually available to us yet, and it won't be for a very long time. So our main way of getting it, I believe, is going to be from byproducts from, I think, yep, pyrolusite might be one of them. Yep, that comes from the manganese vein, right? So this is where it comes from. The manganese vein is the one this is going to come from. So grossula, spectratine, pyrolusite, tantalite, I would assume is what will give it to us. Right, so that makes a lot of sense. So we've probably been getting it from byproducts from various ores there. So, yeah, pyrolusite. Scheelite, I don't think we've seen that one. Spectratine, we've seen that one. Tungstate, we have not seen. Tantalite, we know about that one. In fact, I think I still have that one in here, right? Because I'm wanting to process that one into tantalum. I want to put that through a chemical bath at some point, but we haven't made sodium persulfate yet. Because we can actually process tantalum now as well. So that is something we'll have to take a look at some point, because tantalum will be quite useful to us going forward, I think. And, yeah, so I actually guess I won't be using that for manganese then, I suppose. If that's alright. Right, so there's our iron dust. So yeah, we know how to get manganese then as well. So all of the material to make stainless steel seems to be doing okay. And all we need to do now is go ahead and start putting it into the mixer, which is right here. What circuit are you going to need? you are going to need... Oh, that's the manganese dust. Stainless steel dust is circuit 2. And we just put in the iron. And in fact, actually, it's a good thing I did it the way I'm doing it because we didn't even have enough space in the mixer for all of that. But this is perfect. So nickel, chrome, manganese. Off we go. Right, so it does take, though, a bit of time, 45 seconds. So that's going to take a little bit to get our first stainless steel. And what we're going to do is, actually, while we're waiting for that, we are going to frame the first one that we make, just like we did with steel and aluminum. So I am going to need to actually get a item frame. So item frame, not too bad. We are just missing an iron ring, right? Should be pretty simple. In fact, actually, I have some in here. Just need one of them. That'll give us the item frame we need. So just go ahead and make that. We should have our first bit coming up here. Yep, there we go, stainless steel dust. Although, for the quest account, it is going to want 72 of them, so I might as well wait for that to be done until we actually start processing some of the stainless steel. Now, we are actually using the EBF right now to make some more cantho, and that is because we are going to need more cantho so that I can get more cantho coils for our pyrolyzed oven, which we will be making probably next time. That'll probably be the next thing we do, because then we're going to be going for benzene. It's just that I don't have enough cantho, I don't think, just yet, so that's why I'm processing it, although I will have to stop that temporarily once we actually start making some stainless steel. Right, so the other stuff that I also want to do today is I also wanted to try and knock out some of the other quests. Normally, I actually look at these things ahead of time, but we're kind of just going to wing it today. So there's a couple of things that caught my attention. Some of them are actually MV machines that are required quests. They have the little kind of spiky edges. So the fluid solidifier, I want to make that one, and the bending machine. So that should be the first thing we do probably. So let's go ahead then and look at this one, the advanced fluid solidifier. We'll bookmark you. And the advanced bending machine. And I don't know how many components we actually have right now. Okay, we do have enough for the fluid solidifier. That's good. So there is one advanced fluid solidifier. And the advanced bending machine, we're missing... Oh, we're just missing the wrench, which is actually in here. Right, so we do have everything we need for this stuff. So there is an advanced bending machine. Lovely. So let's go ahead and also throw out that ink sac I just picked up. It does get annoying, and I might as well turn off the magnet for now. Right, so we do have a few spots for these. And also, I don't think I mentioned it, but I have made an advanced lathe recently. It was actually... The reason I needed to make it was related... I think it was because... We looked at these a little bit last time when we went to the Twilight Forest. It was here. To make some of these things, I actually needed stuff from the MV lathe. I think... Let's see, the shock one. That needed the yellow garnet lens, and the only way I could actually make it, because I didn't have an exquisite yellow garnet, was through the yellow garnet plate, which needed MV lathe. There was also another one, I think it was Equal Trade? Reinforced glass lens, right? The only way to make that is in an MV lathe. You can't make it any other way. That just comes from the reinforced glass plate, which is just reinforced glass, so not a big deal, but I did have to make the MV lathe for that. There was no other way around that. Right, so now what we can do, we can go ahead and just install these. So we'll just put you... like that, probably. The advanced bending machine. Let me go ahead and hook these up as well. Just make sure these are MV. Always double check things. So put you there, bending machine, and fluid solidifier. And we are now full up on our slots for MV machines. I'll have to figure that out at some point. It is also nighttime, so let's go to sleep. Right. Well, we made these machines, so I feel like we might as well try them out. Now, the fluid solidifier, actually. Let's go take a look, actually, at the text for that quest for just a moment. So, fluid solidifier. We can use molds to make plates, sticks, bolts, and many more item parts in a fluid solidifier. Molds are equal to extruder shape. You're just going to need 2 sets. If they're too expensive, just make the most important ones for now. Right, so we don't really need to use that for that stuff, I don't think, because we have the extruder, but maybe it wasn't another tab I was thinking about. Let's see, without dying, this one right here, better bolts. Now that you are an MV and have an EBF, you can make new bolts with vanadium steel tipped magnesium. Your enemies will tremble at your might. I think this is something we can now use with a fluid solidifier, right? Yep, I think that's what I was looking at. So we're going to need a couple of things. I don't know if we... No, we'll try it. Vanadium steel ingot, the magnesium tool rod, magnesium bolts. Right. Let's go take a look at that. So that is going to need actually... Oh, it's not going to work on that, is it? We need vanadium steel ingot, which is right there. Vanadium steel ingot. We're going to need the magnesium tool rod, which is going to come from the extruder. So that's just a magnesium ingot, which is, I think, actually down here. See if I can find that. Okay. Magnesium ingot. We're going to put that into the extruder. I just realized also we're going to need to run all the way back over here again because that is going to need the... What was it? This thing here. Tool rod cast. It's the only bad thing about having those casts all the way over there. You have to run all the way over there to get them. But we should be able to do this. I believe to get the magnesium tool rod. Okay, that should work. Yep, there we go. There's a magnesium tool rod, and that's what that wanted. And now we have to make the magnesium bolt, which I'm assuming we have to extract the vanadium steel. That should be all we have to do. That should be pretty simple. Where is my fluid extractor? There it is. Fluid extractor, vanadium steel. Okay, we got that. We just need to grab one of these. And put you in the fluid solidifier. And, oh, it does take 221 seconds, right. Well, we should have, actually, enough stainless steel now, it looks like, to complete that quest. There's some cantha as well. Not bad. Are you prepared for HV? Well, we are getting closer and closer to it, which is really surprising. I mean, it does feel like we just entered MV not long ago, but we're doing quite well, I'd say. Right, so we have our first bit of stainless steel dust now. So now we can go ahead and start getting stainless steel ingots. We are going to need 64. We're probably not going to get this done today, but what we are going to be able to do is get our very first stainless steel. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have to stop you. Put you in here for now. I'll process some of that stuff later. Just about finished with that one. And what we're going to do is we're going to check the recipe one more time. Circuit 11, looks like we just put it in. And we're going to put you in. This is very important because I don't want to lose my very first one we ever made. Just going to keep that empty for the moment. Put the candle over here, and we should have our first ever made stainless steel ingot in a few seconds. There's the cantho. We are getting the new bolt. This will be interesting. I'm actually curious to see if this is going to be a big improvement for us. We will see. So that could be quite interesting. And while we're waiting on that, we also have to test out that bending machine, which gives us access to a couple more quests. We can make another anchor. Using the MV Bender, you can finally press dense plates. So let's craft a passive chunk loader. It will also load a 3x3 chunk area. Passive anchors will run for 1 hour off an ender pearl and a varying amount depending on the coin used. So it wants dense obsidian plates, right? So we need 9 obsidian ingots. Oh, that takes 180 seconds as well. Right, well, we're using a lot of machines over there. I think we've got some stuff over here. Only 8 obsidian ingots, right? I think I can get some more from... There we go, there's some obsidian. I think the way we get the obsidian ingots... Well, we might be able to just cut them as well in the cutting machine, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I'll just do that. 9 of those should be enough to get us 18 obsidian plates. And we might as well use the MV cutting machine as well. It'll be faster. 5.5 seconds. Although I do need to be careful. We're actually using quite a bit of MV power right here. But we should be able to handle it. Right, so there it is. Our first ever made stainless steel ingot is now in in our possession. Right, so that's a pretty big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the stuff off and running. Let's make sure that turns on. Yep, there we go. Right, and what we're going to do with you is we are going to put you into an anvil first. I am going to need levels, actually, for this, so let's come over here. I didn't need that much, but there we go. I do like that the magnet works with the XP as well. Quite good. Well, actually, I think you can be more efficient with the anvil if you actually have closer to the exact amount. Because I think it's going to be like 5 levels. I could be wrong. So we have stainless steel. We're just going to rename it to be the first stainless steel ingot. Yeah, just 5 levels. So just drop that down. A little bit too much there. Yeah, see, and you get too much when you put it back in. I'll just drop it as close as I can. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, put you back in there now. And we will rename you to be the first stainless steel ingot. There we go. First stainless steel ingot, and we will go ahead and add it to our achievement wall. There's the item frame. And there we go. That will forever be known as the first stainless steel ingot, right next to the first aluminium ingot and the first steel ingot that we ever made. And very soon we'll probably have our first HV circuit added to there as well. That's quite good. Right, so we got that done. So what were we trying to do next? I believe we were trying to get the dense obsidian plates made in that bending machine, right? So we have those obsidian plates there. So now we go ahead and use these, I believe, inside a bending machine. Yep, circuit 9. It is going to take 3 minutes. That doesn't seem too bad, though. So circuit 9. And we'll be able to make this passive anchor. Let's need a couple other things. Diamond plates, I believe we have those. So here's our magnesium bolts now prepared. And I just remembered we have to go ahead and hook these up like that. But there we go. We just got a magnesium bolt. So I believe we should be able to just go ahead and at least add these on. We'll see what that does. The tool rod castaway as well. Alright, let's see what this does. This will be interesting. So, alumite bolts, magnesium bolts. Oh yeah, that's a huge upgrade, I think. Attack goes from 6.5 to 11.5, and the durability just went up from 308 to 885. That's a massive one. Wow. So, plus 23 attack damage from plus 13. Wow. Alright, we'll take that. Those will be much better bolts. So these need, then... Yeah, vanadium steel now. So you need vanadium steel to repair these. Not that I have to. We also have the auto repair on them. Right. So that is going to be a really good bolt now. So that's going to be good. Let's also get rid of this last bit of XP here. Right. So we got that done. That's off the list. Right. So we're still waiting on the dense obsidian plates from our new MV bending machine to make this thing, but there are some other things I also want to look at as well. A couple of interesting quests. Some other small ones as well, actually, including this one here. I just remembered that one, the borax electrolyzing. This is something we could have done a long time ago, but it wants us to get this volumetric flask, which needs, apparently, this molten borosilicate glass, I think it was, which comes from borosilicate glass dust, and the way you get that is you need something called boron, so that's why we have the boron dust here. So the way we get that is... I'm gonna have to take a look at that, actually, because I believe it was from... well, it was connected to the electrolyzer, so it probably is in there. I looked at it a long time ago, but I just now remembered it again. Comes from borax dust, right? That's how you get it. We just need 23 borax dust, which I would like to believe we have. Have to assume we do. Borax is... Find it in... There. There we go. Yeah, we do have enough. I believe it was 23 of these, right? Yes, 23. We also need to grab a couple of cells. That'll give us some sort of new dust. So, cells are going to be... in there. 10 cells. We put you into the electrolyzer. And off we go. So let's go to sleep. That'll give us some of that boron. I think it was boron. Okay, we got sodium. There's the boron. And we also are getting our dense obsidian plates now, which is good. So I think we only needed one boron dust. So to make this volumetric flask, which apparently the way this thing works is this thing can take only 1 liter, I guess. I'm actually not too sure how useful this thing is, so you can just set the volume, I guess, but we do need to make this borosilicate glass for that. So what we need now is the borosilicate glass dust, which just needs glass dust. Right, we might have that somewhere. No, we don't have it anywhere. Do we have it down here by chance? Yes, we do have it down here. There's 7, and it does need, I believe it was a mixer, right? LV mixer even will work, so we just put you back in here. There we go. So that'll take 16 seconds. We'll get the borosilicate glass, and I can use that to make the volumetric flask for that quest to get knocked out as well. Here it comes. And there it is. We'll just take one of them. Kind of a strange process for that one, I'd say, but if it gets the quest done, it works. So that is then going to need to be fluid extracted, I believe. Can't even use the LV one, but I'm right here, so let's use you. Okay, now what do we need to do with that? Do we need to... How do we get this? Fluid solidify with the ball mold, right? So we need a ball mold, which is right there. And that should be our volumetric flask, which is another quest. Borax electrolyzing, right. Right, that was an interesting process, I'd say, but we got that one done. That was just one I've had on my to-do list for a while. I just haven't done it yet. So we got that one knocked out. Right, so there are a couple of other quests, though, that I'm quite interested in. So the 2 that I'm looking at right now, actually, is this one here. Create a flight with maglev. This one actually seemed quite interesting, so I'm going to try this one right now. So, it says, getting annoyed trying to reach pipes and conduits around your base, look no further than the maglev harness. With the maglev, you can have creative flight whenever you are within range of a maglev pylon and have the harness equipped. This will work even when unpowered. However, the range of the pylon gets doubled when it's given 1 amp of its corresponding tier of power. The maglev will only draw power when you are in range, not passively. A harness can only be tethered to 1 pylon at a time, but a pylon can attach to any number of harnesses. It will only consume 1 amp regardless of how many harnesses are tethered to the pylon. So this seems quite interesting for kind of anything, really. If I need to get around in the base for something, high up, instead of having to build up occasionally, we might be able to use that with creative flight. So this seems like something that could be quite useful, so I want to try and get this. So we need to make the maglev harness, which does need actually some magical stuff. So we need thaumium, air crystal, magnetic steel plates. The mundane belt is actually something I think we have. So let's go actually take a look at all those different things there. So the maglev harness, yep, there's the mundane belt. And then we're also going to need to grab a couple of other things as well. There's that ink sac again. Actually, we might have... I can never remember what we already have. No, we just had some thaumium bolts and thaumium rings. No thaumium rods in there. We do have thaumium, though. We have no shortage of that right now. And then the air crystal plates. That's something else we'll have to take a look at. Right, so you are going to be the extruder. And we are going to need magnetic steel plates as well. Air crystal plate, though. Just quickly check and see if we have that. I don't think we do. That's going to need us to use the air shards, right? We have to make a block of them and then turn that into a plate in the cutting machine. So the air crystals are going to be over here. Okay, we got that. We just need to compress them and then cut them for the plates. We've done that a ton of times with a ton of different things. 12 seconds. Let's go ahead and get rid of that ink sac. Put you away as well. Let's even put away the wire cutters. How are we doing on stainless steel as well? We have 11 ingots. Not bad. Right, so we will add you... Yeah, we'll just put you here for now. I'll probably add it closer to here at some point. In fact, I'll probably replace the rubber bars, because we don't really use those. Those were old. We have the molten rubber now. Yeah, we are getting some of that. So there is our block of air now. We can go ahead and cut you in the cutting machine, and let's go ahead and use the MV1 since it will be faster. 24.5 seconds, that's good. Right, so that's going to allow us to get that stuff in the magnetic steel plates. We still need that, so that's going to be then... Going to need to actually get magnetic steel ingots. I wonder if... Can I just do this? Yes, you can. Now give you the stuff. I wonder if I could have just put a steel plate in there, actually. Yeah, you could have. You could have just put a steel plate. But this should be the same thing anyways. Put it in a bending machine. Yeah, and it gives you the magnetic steel. Right, so that works. And we're still making that stainless steel as well. We do have a bit. So there's our air crystal plate as well. There's the thaumium rods. We should have almost everything now. In fact, I believe we do have everything now. So that should allow us to go ahead and make now the maglev... What is it? The maglev harness. Right, so that is going to be interesting right there. So that's something we can equip now. Well, we need to actually get the advanced maglev pylon in order to actually use it. So that... Okay, so that's going to need a block of magnetic steel. So that is... You can use a block of steel inside of a polarizer, I guess. Turn that into a steel block and then put that to the polarizer. That'll probably be the quickest way of doing that. We are going to also need, though, quite a few, actually, of these medium voltage coils. I just noticed 7 of them, to be exact. That's going to be... bit of the fine aluminum wire, so I'm trying to think how much that will be. 7. Gonna need quite a bit. And you are the wire mill. I think we'll need a little bit more than that. I think if I've done my calculations right, that should be exactly enough. Okay. So there's the fine aluminum wire, and we're also going to need the magnetic steel rods. So we're going to need 7 of those. So since we're here, let's just do that. And then, of course, we'll have to turn you into a magnetic steel block, it looked like. Look at that one more time, actually. Yeah, block of magnetic steel. That'll be fine, though. There we go. And you do take a minute. Right, so we're still waiting on that one there. So while we wait on that, we might take a look at the next quest set that I want to do. So the next thing I had my eye on also was these right here. I was interested in these. These are solar panels. Now, I don't think they're going to be too good for main power, but they could be good for supplementing our power situation in certain areas. In fact, we actually use solar panels in the... Let's go step outside for a moment. We actually use them in the crop breeding area because we got one from a loot bag a long time ago. That's how we power our scanner up there. So now we have actually made it to the point where we can make more of them, which is pretty good. So I want to try and see if we can get these quests done here as well. So let's take a look. So we are going to have to make, though, quite a few things for this. So we need wafers, reinforced glass, electronic circuit, carbon plate, which actually, carbon plate, I believe, was another quest right here. So that was something we can actually make inside a compressor. Oh, that's pretty easy. Raw carbon mesh. Right, let's go ahead and do that because we have plenty of raw carbon mesh. In fact, let's just go ahead and make 32 of them. I think the quest wanted 24, but let's make a few extra. Should work in here. Yes, it does. Lovely. That's quite good. And do we have our magnetic steel? Yes, we do. And we're also going to need a couple other things. Fine aluminum wire and the magnetic steel rod. We also still need to make those as well, I just remembered. So that's going to need the MV assembling machine, circuit 1. And that'll take a little bit longer. Right, it is nighttime, so let's go to sleep. Right, so we are getting quite a few quests done today, which is quite good. Grab this cantho here as well. And let's also grab the stainless steel in here. I think we just got the rest of that stuff. I do need to sort this out. And also, I just remember that dense alcidium plate. We still need to make that anchor. I almost forgot about that. Cantho. Oh, we have 117 now. That's not bad. Probably have enough by now. Right, so before I actually forget, let's go ahead and make this anchor I was going to do as well. So, ender pearl, double steel plate, diamond plates. Right, so diamond plates, we have that. What do we still need? Oh, we need ender pearl, and we do need a double steel plate. Right. So, double steel plates we can actually go ahead and make in the MV bending machine now as well. Let's try that out. We weren't able to do that in the LV one. We can in the MV one, but it does need it set, I believe, circuit 2, it look like. Right, there we go. We can now make the double steel plate. While we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and grab the ender pearl we need. And everything's going to come over here, isn't it? Right, there's our medium voltage coil. There's our double steel plates. We should be able to make a couple of things right here. So this is the passive anchor. That'll be a quest. And that should be the advanced maglev pylon, which is going to be another quest. So that should be 2 quests right there. We are going to put you in here for now. I'm not really sure if we need you. But I just wanted to try out that bending machine. I wanted an excuse. But there we go. Create a flight with maglev. This one we are going to try out right now. So this thing here, I believe, yeah, goes in the wing slot. We can just keep it there. And this thing should work even unpowered. So the way I imagine it... Do I need to hook it up, though, actually, is another thing. So let's just go step outside for a moment, actually. We will put you right there, and it looks like it does connect. Saw something there. So can I just fly now? Yes, I can, actually. Now, if I go too high, I drop down. So it only has a very short range, but as you can see, we can actually fly around. So the way I envision this, then, is... Can I just take it with me and move it around? Let's say I go down here. Let's say, for some odd reason, I need to get on top of these machines here. Yep, it does work. Right, that is going to be really handy then. So you are going to have a permanent spot in my backpack. Right, I'm quite happy with that. That's going to save me from having to make random pillars occasionally. If I ever have to go up anywhere. I mean, we have the piston boots. We can actually jump quite high, but it's still not enough sometimes. Right, so that's good. I'm quite happy with that one, actually. Alright, so let's go ahead and put the rest of the stainless steel. I'm going to put it in here for now. We are still making some, but I don't want to go too crazy on that, because I do want to try and get the rest of that candle processed. And that actually brings up another thing here. So we are heading towards the pyrolyzed oven, obviously, because we want to get benzene. Once we get benzene, I think my next priority is going to be more blast furnaces, because we are getting quickly to the point where one blast furnace is not enough. We absolutely are going to need more blast furnaces going forward, I think, and I don't think we're going to be able to avoid that. So I'm thinking we're going to need 2 for sure. Maybe we might even go for 4 blast furnaces, but once we get benzene, we'll be able to power them, because according to my calculations that I've made, I think right now we're kind of maxed out on the steam we are producing over here, which is 1 blast furnace, because that's already a lot of power we're using. And of course, we also need to power our main MV machines as well occasionally, so can't really afford a second blast furnace in terms of power right now, but once we get benzene, I don't think that's going to be an issue anymore. So that's going to be an upcoming goal, so we'll be working towards it. Right, so over here's our carbon plates. That's another quest as well. And I also wanted to work on, like I said, these right here. So I think we'll try and do these quests, and then we'll end the episode. So what are we going to need for this then? So we're going to need the wafers, reinforced glass, electronic circuit. Right, I have most of that stuff around somewhere. So it wanted 2 circuits, reinforced glass, the wafers. There's a reinforced glass. We do have carbon plates. I'm going to put you in here for now. And then red alloy wire. Right, do we have any of that? We have a little bit. It's enough. And we also need this thing right here, aluminum iron plate. Ah, we need an MV forming press for this. Okay, so that's something I did not anticipate. Right, advanced forming press is what we're going to need. Right, the problem with that, actually, is there's no more room for machines here. But I can move one, I guess, temporarily, I suppose. And the lathe isn't going to get used much. I might actually move that one for now. We don't use the lathe a whole lot. Right, so let's go ahead and do that then. So forming press, advanced forming press. We are missing a piston, which I don't think's a big deal. We can just make another one. And advanced forming press. Right there. Not sure if that'll be a quest or not, but let's make an extra piston as well here. And it is a quest, actually. So I have one in there. We also added pumps. Let's make another pump. I always like to make sure there's at least one of something left. Right, so what we'll go ahead then and do is I am going to need the wrench, and I'm actually going to need the wire cutter as well, possibly. We're going to go ahead and move the lathe out, and I'm going to put the forming press in. So that will be our forming press. And make sure you're all hooked up. Are you hooked up to power as well? Okay, now you are for sure. I think it was before anyways, but now it is for sure. Right. So now that we've got that forming press, we can go ahead and make this thing. So we need 2 aluminum plates, 4 iron plates. Okay, we do have those somewhere. Stone plate, polyethylene. No iron plates in there. Okay, we have a couple in here. Let's go ahead then and get some more iron plates prepared. You never know when you'll need them. Right, and then the forming press. No circuit is needed, so we just put these in. I just realized I did that the wrong way around. I need more iron plates. I think it was something like that. Do we even need more than one? We might. You never know, because we are going to do a couple other quests. Let's just do this right now. Right, off we go. Does take 30 seconds again. Let's throw away that ink sac. Right, so do we have everything else? It does appear that we do. how do we make the solar panel? Crafting recipe. Can use the assembler. Is it any cheaper? Doesn't look like it. If anything, it's more expensive because you need to put a fluid. Funny enough. Yeah. If anything, unless I'm missing something here, I think it's actually more expensive than the assembling machine. That's actually kind of funny. Right, crafting table it is then. Right, we should have that now. There it is. Aluminium iron plate, and we should have everything we need to go ahead and make this solar panel. So our first ever made solar panel. Oh, we're missing the wafers. Let's go grab those. We have plenty of wafers. No shortage of wafers. And also, we can go ahead and put the advanced lathe away as well. You need to be careful about that, though. Where did that end up? I don't want to accidentally think it's an LV machine at some point. There it is right there. Now, I'll have to keep an eye on that in the future. I might go ahead and actually make an NV chest. I think I mentioned that before. But anyways, there is our first ever made solar panel. Which is a quest. I actually thought we might get fireworks for that, but I guess not. We do have a solar panel now, which is quite good. So this is just a basic solar panel, though. We can go ahead, I think, and turn it into something else. So we have Power the Sun ULV. The next solar panel you can make is the ULV one. It generates 8 EU a tick, which I believe is actually the one that we have from the one up there. I think that's the one we have up there. So what is this one then, actually? This one, oh, just 1 EU a tick, right. So this is the most basic one. Right, and then there's also this one here, which is to make this a block form instead of a cover, I guess. So put those single EU panels on a block to make them placeable in the world. Use an NV assembler to combine the panel with a ULV hole. Right, so we need a ULV hole, solar panel. And it does for this one. Okay, though this one actually does want a couple other things as well. More solar panels, right. So we're going to need to get a couple more of these prepared then, it looks like. Okay, well, we can do that. Doesn't look like there's too much to do, but I do want to get these quests knocked out at least. So let's try and do that. So one thing I believe we are going to need then is a couple more of those plates. That's the only thing I don't think we have readily available. Forming press. I believe we're just going to need to make 2 more of these. I can turn this one then into the block form one. What was it called? It was this one here, solar panel. So we just need to use a ULV machine hole. Simple enough. What do we need for that? We're missing lead cables, ULV machine casing. Why, I haven't had to make those type of things in a long time now. Just do that one manually then. Where is my wrench? Put it in here. We are going to need it also said... Did it say lead cables? Lead cables. I might have those over here. But I don't actually think we do. Nope, we do have some in here. There we go, lead cables. So ULV machine hole. So there we go with that one. We got the ULV machine hole made up. Now we can go ahead and combine these, although I believe it said in soldering alloy. Right, let's go ahead and do that. In fact, actually, this is going to be a waste. Let's try a quick test then. I know I said didn't care much about this, but I want to try out this volumetric flask. I think it says we can, yeah, change the capacity. So if I do something like that, 36, that's what this wants, right? Yeah, soldering alloy. If I do that, we get 36. Right, so that's the use of this thing, then. We can actually determine how much we want to take out, instead of me having to take something out, put it in something else, and then put it back into there. Right, so that actually does have a use, then. So that might be handy. Right, so I'm trying to make this thing. NV assembler. Did you need a circuit? I asked that so many times, but it doesn't look like we do. Put you in, and you in, and that should make us the solar panel. Right. Okay, so we got that one done. Well, almost done. We'll have to pick it up, and then we do need to go ahead and try this one here. So we need 2 more normal solar panels. So let's pick up some wafers. Aluminum ion plates. And solar panels are going to need also the carbon plates. We already knew we had those. All right, what do we need for this still? Oh, we have everything. We have everything for 1 more. We need 2 more. We're missing the red alloy, which is... Oh, we have a little bit right here. Actually, do we have any in here? No, red stone alloy. We might actually... Yeah, we do. We actually have some right here. I use those for circuits. Right, so we can go ahead and make another one. Right, so there's the 2 solar panels. Next, we're going to need 1 wafer. And we're also going to need 2 MV circuits, right? So these are going to be quite expensive. Solar panels are not going to be cheap, and that's probably why they're not going to be good for a main power source. But to supplement some stuff, they might be good. Although I don't particularly need them for anything right now. But we're just doing it for the quest right now. But we may get a use for them at some point. We'll see. Alright, so we got that. Gallium arsenide plate. Okay, that one is interesting. Right, gallium arsenide. I need to know gallium arsenide ingot for that one. Right. Okay, so this is an interesting one then. How are we going to get a gallium arsenide plate? Let's think about this for a moment. A gallium arsenide plate. We made the crystal before. That comes from gallium arsenide dust. You can macerate the small crystals to get the dusts. Okay, let's try that then. We do have a couple. We can spare that. We are going to have to turn you off because we're going to need to use that, actually. Right, so what do I do at you, then? Macerate it. Gives us the small pile. Because I don't think we have any gallium arsenide ingots. This will work just fine, I think. Right, there we go. Small pile of gallium arsenide dust. Give us the gallium arsenide dust. And then we just put you into a blast furnace. Oxygen. It only needs MV, so this will go pretty quickly, I think. Since we're wanting a higher power. This is just about to finish. So let's let you finish that stainless steel ingot. Turn you back on. 15 seconds, not bad. Go ahead and take those as well while we wait for that. Already 33 stainless steel ingots, not bad. So I'm glad we're able to make that stuff now. It's really good. And there is our gallium arsenide ingot, right? So now what we need to do with that is we need to put you into the bending machine. Get that plate. Wow, that was interesting. Right, so next we need the aluminum ion plate. Oh, wait, no, this is a reinforced aluminum ion plate, actually. Right. So this is even more expensive. Carbon plates, advanced alloys. Right. Okay. Let's go grab then another bit of aluminum. I think it was 2 and 4. Because we're going to need another one of those again. So, forming press. And then to make this, we need 4 carbon plates. We have that. 4 advanced alloy, which I'm not sure that we have that. There's our gallium arsenide plate. And what was I looking for? I've already forgot. Advanced alloy. Do we have that anywhere? We have 2 of them. Right, how do we make this? We need the mixed metal ingot. Okay, that's pretty cheap. There we go. That'll work. turn that in. It looks like a bending machine. And that'll give us 2 more advanced alloy. And then we just needed 4 carbon plates. So I'm glad we actually made some extra of those as well. There's advanced alloy 1. There's another one. We should have the aluminum iron plates here, right? Alright, so this has been a process, certainly, to make this one solar panel, but I think we're almost there. So now we need to make the reinforced aluminum iron plate, circuit 3, and the assembler. So we put U in, U in, U in. That takes 5 seconds, so not long at all. And that will give us... There's also the solar panel in the block form as well. That only gives us 1 U a tick, but it's better than nothing, I guess. There's our reinforced aluminum iron plate. And now we just need tin wires. There's that quest. Power of the sun 1 by 1. And tin wires. I must have those in there. Let's go ahead and make this thing. Let's go ahead and... It is crafting recipe, actually, so that's good. And I'm just checking again, but... Yeah, it is more expensive than the assembling machine because you actually have to use a fluid, funny enough. Right, so that should be an 8-volt solar panel. So that was actually quite expensive to make. But there we go. Power of the sun, ULV, we got it done. So I'm quite happy about that, actually. Right, so we did end up completing a ton of quests today. We're not going to be able to get the stainless steel one done, I don't think. Just because it's going to take a bit more time. More than halfway there, although we might actually have a couple of ingots over here, but not going to be a lot, I don't think. 2 stainless steel ingots, so we're sitting at 38 right now. I think the quest wanted 64. Right, so let's go ahead then and put some of these things here away. I'll put the solar panels in here. And, oh, for a second I thought that was a solar panel. I was about to say, why do we have solar panels here? No, that's an overflow valve. They look similar. Right, so let me put these iron plates away, and I think what we'll go ahead and do is claim our quest rewards and then wrap up the episode. So, put this stuff up here. And let's go take a look at what we did. We did complete a lot of quests today, so... Advanced Forming Press, we're going to get the MV Loop Bag and coins. MV Bending Machine's going to give us... Oh, it gives us the dense steel plates! Oh, no, we didn't need those. We need dense obsidian plates, but we got dense steel plates, though. So that's interesting. We're going to get... Passive Anchor's going to give us a chunk loader coin. Tier 1. 24 hours in passive chunk loader, 12 hours chunk loader. Oh, okay. 48 hours. Okay. So I guess it's gives you a longer time. Interesting. All right, we got that one. This one here, this is an interesting one. The maglev harness. That's going to give us another loop bag and some coins. I'm really interested in this one. Seems like it's going to be quite useful. This is the fluid solidifier, which is going to give us MV loop bag. Carbon plates. Ah, we can get more of this stuff. I think we got this once before. Polytetrafluoroethylene. I don't think we can make it right now. I'm going to take that one. This was the borax electrolyzing, which is actually going to give us a couple more of those volumetric flasks, which actually do seem quite useful for a couple of things, so I'm glad we made it. These are the solar panel ones here. I don't need more wafers. Aluminium's okay. Another loop bag's good. This one, loop bag it is. And this one, another loop bag. And then we also did the stainless steel one, which is going to give us chum burger, which I've already eaten, and an MV loop bag as well. And is that everything there? Looks like it is. And is there anything else without dying? Right, the better bolts we made, which is going to give us a blaze spawn egg. Interesting. And is there anything else? No, doesn't look like it. Right, so we did get some coins. I'll just go ahead and toss those in here. In fact, I'll toss everything we don't need on us right now in there. And we have 9 MV loop bags to go ahead and open up before we end off. So let's see what we get. Okay, we got red wheat seeds. I think... Is that a quest? Red wheat. I thought that was a quest for that somewhere in the... No, not there. It's in the... What was that? Fishing, farming, cooking. Yeah, it is red wheat seeds. Oh, I didn't scan nether wart seeds. That's why we didn't get that. Because I've been trying to get that for the longest time at a nether wart. And we just got it from a quest. So that's interesting, but I don't have nether wart seeds to scan. So, I'll leave that one. Right, we also got energy conduits. Right, so this one, potion of invisibility and some coal. Stack of coal. More potions of invisibility. Ooh, we got the flames for the bees. I like when I get these. Because these are, well, you need Thaumcraft to make them. It's just a pain to make them. It's not hard, but it is a pain. We got glowflower seed and we got some coppin seeds. I think we have much better versions of that. We got a cheeseburger. We're not getting too much GregTech stuff out of this. Okay, well, there we go. Damascus steel. And some potions of healing. We got a ethereal glass. I think we've gotten that one once before. And then the last MV loot bag. 8 vacuum tubes and supreme pizzas. Right. Well, we got some stuff, though. The chocolate flames are good. The red wheat seeds, I'm glad we got those, because I've been trying for the longest time to get that, and I never did, but they just gave it to us, so that's quite good. But yeah, so we finally have our first bit of stainless steel. And we now have it on display over here. Quite happy with that. The first ever one we made. And we got a couple other things done as well, but I'm really glad we're actually producing stainless steel now. It's going to be quite good. A couple more in there right now as well. And yeah, that's going to be something I want to have produced in the background while we do some of this other stuff, because I know we're going to need it going forward in the future once we get H3. We're just going to need a lot of it, I think. But yeah, I think the next goal is going to be the pyrolyzed oven. So that's probably what we're going to be doing next. And we are going to need a lot of stuff for that. I'm going to need steel, I'm going to need iron, and then you're going to need these bronze-plated bricks. You're going to need bronze. And this is just for the pyrolyzed oven casing, which we do need a lot of. This says 65 of them, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're making some more progress in the MV age, and we've got some more stuff to do coming up. So yeah, I think that is where we are going to end this episode. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.